Assalamu alaikum viewers, I'm Zubia Irfan. Welcome to another Fireside chat session. Today, Fireside chat session, before we start it, let me introduce with the organizations because of which this session is going to be possible. So, NICAT, the National Incubation Center for Advanced Technologies, is a premier platform driving innovation and entrepreneurship in Pakistan. NICAT provides startups and entrepreneurs with mentorship, access to funding, and a collaboration ecosystem to help turn ideas into scalable solutions that can have a national and global impact. CXO Global Forum is a leading platform that brings together top executives, industry leaders, and innovators across sectors to share insights, explore emerging trends, and drive business transformation. The forum creates opportunities for knowledge exchange, networking, and collaboration among Pakistan's C-level community and beyond. Today's guest is Mr. Zeeshan Sabri. He's a transformation and operations executive with 20 plus years of global experience delivering national platforms, AI driven transformation, and large scale operational restructuring across the Middle East and UK. With a portfolio spanning telecom, fintech, insurance, energy, and environment, he has led multi-million-dollar initiatives impacting over 5 million users, making him a leading voice in enterprise reinvention and governance first innovation in the AI era. So let's meet and greet Mr. Zishan. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, Zubia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Thank you for asking. It's an amazing topic and an amazing initiative, I would say, by CXO and NIC, and on a very timely, I would say, era that it is the must to have or a need for a lot of organizations, people, and individuals. Hope to add value and hope to serve for the community.
Very right. Very right. So, to begin with, Mr. Zishan, what does enterprise reinvention mean to you in today's AI driven environment?
It's too close to the heart. Let's put it this way. And the reason I say that is looking at the businesses and organizations working with multinationals, I've seen in and out the challenges most of the organizations go through. And the irony that we see is corporates, they do their best in order to bring the right policies and the frameworks. It's when it cascades down to the operations and to the individuals, that's where the disruption starts. So when I say it's too close to heart, it means I'm too close to people. So I'm a people person, and that's why I think it's a passion that has been built. The timing and the reinvention is, I would say, whoever picks it early in the journey now will be ahead of the rest of the corporates or the businesses. There is no late time in this. It's whenever you decide to do it, you just take the right steps. You just take the baby steps. It's not a one fix for all. It compounds. It's a journey. That's why I always mention this to a lot of colleagues and networks around me, that it's not one day you're going to do it. If you've decided, the baby step starts from the time you decided. One day is lying to yourself.
Okay, okay. So many organizations struggle with fragmented operations. Where should leaders begin when attempting large scale integration?
Yeah. This is where challenges start, and this one's going to have a long response for me because I need to make sure that corporates and everybody gets that message across. Leaders try to, all of a sudden, they try to start from left, right, center, top. It's always trial and error, right? A simple message that I'm going to give today, and this is to all the leaders, and with all due respect, we are all trying our best in order to do and give the right value to the corporates and the organizations we work for. Start with yourself. Once you start with yourself, that's where the change, culture, and adaptability happens. I have seen so often that leaders want to do the changes, but they simply allocate people, you know, okay, it's your responsibility. So they'll get a change manager, for example. So the change manager has to be your transformation manager as an employee. He has to make sure that everything goes as per what the leader wants. Now, the irony over here happens if the leader himself is not part of the whole change execution and the way it needs to be done, it's a start to fail. I've seen it. I've lived it. I did it. For example, I made those errors in the early times. So I think the most evident thing that any leader should do, especially when it comes to AI is our topic at the moment, right? And it has shifted the gears of how transformation used to happen before the AI was in consumers' hand and after. When I say it shift gears, it's 5 to 10x fold. We used to have time, we used to have enough, I would say trial and error, fixing opportunities in the past. Yes, ye kharab ho gaya, chalo koi baat nahi, let's try to attempt a new one, right? Gone are those days now. The reason is if you're not going to do the right approaches, and it starts with AI. AI is the most, I would say, for any business, for any, I'm not going to give industry verticals over, for any business, from a school, from barbershop, salons, all the way to corporates, businesses, SMEs, every angle has an opportunity to use AI the way they want to use AI. The challenge, what I've observed in my workshops and in my trainings and sessions that I've and with the leaders is we don't want to do it ourselves. Simple as that. They will try to they'll try to expect the impact to come. I was having I'll put a use cases in the discussions. Yeah, some stories will come in the discussions. So I had recently a discussion with a couple of business owners. And the idea is that, yes, we want to have AI. We want workflows to be automated. We want things to be faster. How could we do it? Right? Okay, we need to start with you. I'm too busy. Come on. The concept of AI is basically to make you, when you're busy, that's where you need to bring AI. AI doesn't come in when you're not busy. You know what I mean? AI comes in when you're busy. That's where you've got there are so many tools available in the market. You don't need to go through all the tools, right? I understand people won't be able to invest that much of time. Not everybody can do that. Here is a take that everybody should listen to. Follow who connects with you. There are people like myself, and there are many more professionals who have invested times, who have learned AI the way they think. And again, it's not one fit that fix everything, right? So whatever works for you, you make that use. Did I make sense here? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You are explaining in a very well manner.
Yeah. So it's very important for the founders and the executives, the leaders especially. This is the message to all the leaders. Use AI, bring AI in your businesses, right? Start with yourself, then take it down. You want to see the ROI and impact of AI in your business. Don't expect a middle approach, a bottom-up approach, or an ad hoc approach. There has been enormous surveys happen, and one of the latest one was by BCG, where it says 75 to 80% of transformation projects fails. And the reason of that failure is also articulated very easily. So it's either a tech first philosophy, a consulting driven, but not an consulting driven in like come and give a workshop and that means AI is implemented. No, it's a journey. Every business has their own cultures. Every organization, they have their own nuances, their own approaches, right? When you embed technology first, you're disrupting the culture. And that's where the failures happen. There are many fundamental ways, and one of my frameworks that I have developed, it's called a pyramid framework. And the concept, the birth of the pyramid framework basically came in when I started seeing challenges in the businesses. And I started observing why businesses are unable to adapt and what are the reasons it doesn't show the ROI or impact. And there were very easy picks. The leaders are not sitting at the table. Simple. That was the crux of it.
Very right. Very right. Very
You
right.
know?
So,
Yeah.
Zishan, you have led multi-million dollar national platforms. What is the biggest driver of scalability at that level?
Governance. Governance and due diligence. There has been many incidents or many studies that I've done where the 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 approach is always there in order to scale. Any startup, any founder, they always become a founder or a startup because that hunger is there, right? They want to grow, they want to make money, they want to grow, and they want to add value. Now, this is important here. You want to be national platforms or you want to serve the economy, add value first. Don't focus on how quickly you're going to make millions out of it. What do I mean by that? When you add the right value, when you add the concepts which are not being practiced, right? It is hard for people to accept it. It's very hard. Take this one. Imagine this. Startups, right? Startups, basically the service is not being happening in the country or in globally, let's say, right? That's where a startup takes a birth. Correct? So which means we need to know where are we going with our approach. If you're going with a hunger of money first and value second, that's not going to give you a national scalability here. That's going to hurt you. If you, with a clean intent, with a proper motivation, you found the problem, you know the pain, and you've done your tests, you've done your checks, you've talked to people, you've understood their problem, because an idea can be a fresh idea now, but it'll pivot always when you go and test in the market, right? So I'm sure, make sure that you've got that agility in order to accept that adjustment. I've seen more often, and there were a couple of workshops that we did in Oman as well, as part of the mentorship of startups, where people, they're in a hurry. They're in a hurry to start rolling the cycle, and they want to just get the money in. They don't see the challenges of their technology. Take an example of WhatsApp. When WhatsApp was started, right? And I was listening to one of their talks, the founders talks, and they were getting challenged at some point in their journey, which was very early times, that why don't you monetize? You've got million customers and you're not monetizing and you're not expanding. And the answer was, and that was spot on actually. He said, how do I monetize and how do I expand if I'm not confident on my tech? So for a good 1 to 2 years, there was all efforts put backwards, despite despite the growth trajectory that they could easily see, right? what they did, they took a stop, they took a break. They said, okay, we're not going to be greedy. We're not going to go hush hush and too quick just to make our points. They went back in order to strengthen their platforms. They strengthened their technology. So if you look at it, what they did, they tested the market. They saw that there is a need in the market. They got the customer base. Now they didn't get greedy. They didn't continue there. So they said, okay, this will fly. Let's focus on our tech. Let's make it stronger. Let's make sure it's ready for the rest of the customers, those who are going to come. So we should all learn from all these big, founders and startups that has happened. We have use cases in the market. I don't know why people just try to not look into that and try to bring something completely, they call it innovative, but that's not innovation. That's greed, that's rush, that's not having that composure, right, in order to make sure that you're taking the right steps. I think for a leader and startup founder, this is the main challenge, and that's where the tough time comes. If you go through that, national scalability is you can easily do it. If you don't go through that, then you have a challenge.
Very well explained. Mr. Zeeshan, next question I would like to ask: how can enterprises move from isolated AI experiments to organization-wide transformation?
How can enterprises can come back again? So how can enterprises move from isolated AI experiments? Okay, so silos
AI
basically,
experiment. Yes, exactly.
right? So they're doing in silos basically. Okay. Uh, AI doesn't work in silo. Take it from me. This is tested. This is the proven case. AI always work when it is integrated within the workflows and works within the functions. Now, here is the big challenge. Everybody who uses AI, the individuals, I'm talking about majority consumers, right? The way each individual sees how he uses AI is the best way. The way you use AI, you think you're the master. The way the other person uses the AI, he thinks he's the master. And that's the downfall, unfortunately. AI works when you compound the experiences of multi-consumers, because every person makes it work the way they work. It's like experience. So just think of it this way. You hire a 10 years or 15 years of experience candidate, right? What would you do? Would you want to work with his experience and take his experience and then bring your experience and compound it? Or would you want to sit on top of him, pressure him down, and just ask him to follow what you do? Which one you're going to choose? You pick. The first one or the second one? The first one, right? You're going to go with an approach where we can actually compound. That is how AI works. So let's take two functions. So you've got finance or accounts, and then you've got admin or HR, right? These are standard. Every company, every organization has it, right? And AI is being used by one individual in admin, and they say that, yeah, okay, we are implementing AI. And when you ask them, where do you scale yourself between 1 to 5 on the use of AI? I'm talking about that one individual, yeah. And the answer will come, oh, I think I'm at 3, let's say. And there's an intentional question, not 10, 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Where do you rank yourself? I've heard many answers, and majority of them, they go 2.5, 3 plus, right? And then the next follow-up question is, what tools do you use? ChatGPT is always on the top, right? Okay, nice. What do we do with ChatGPT? Oh, my emails are all on them. That is paraphrasing. That's just fixing emails. That's not an AI
Yes,
use,
exactly. This is what happening. Yes, exactly.
you know?
So,
And
what
go on, go on.
role does governance play in ensuring AI adoption in safe, compliant, and sustainable?
That's an internal governance that needs to be maintained. And it's unlike how it used to be in the past, as we stated in the start of the discussion, that with the birth of AI, the way transformations used to happen before, where you used to have your own governance structures back in the days, are not the same now. So your governance now is also evolved, like the way the transformation has evolved, right? And which means that everybody needs to be agile and make sure that we're making the right steps. This is a very spot on question, because there is no one person who can fix it. When you say internal governance, right, you have to have. So there was a survey done. Let me give it this way. And if you want to go with a change management within your organization, right, make sure 7% of your total workforce, out of that, 7% of your team members is on board with the change approach. Minimum, right? And there's a reason why 7%, and it's a minimum, I'm saying. Maximum, the most, the better. But this is the core. And that minimum basically captures your core functions. The 7%. That captures your core functions. And you need your core functions leaders to be on your side before you start your transformation. I've seen it so many times. Finance doesn't want it, but procurement needs it. Okay, so procurement's going to do it. Then who's going to not back it? You know what I mean? A single weak link in this whole journey will waste business millions. And nobody will be able to figure out where the leak was. Everybody will find shoulders at that
Very
time.
right. Very right.
Governance starts from the beginning. You set your team, set your rules, get the empowerment from the top management, make sure the buy-in is there. So you might have the CEOs, but there are founders, there are board members, there are people, those who are not actively engaged, but they were concerned about maintaining the culture. Make sure you've got all the top buy-ins before you start the journey, and don't rush on the journey. Go steady and go structured. That should be the governance approach when it comes to AI automation or AI adoption.
Okay. Okay. So, from your experience in telecom, fintech, and insurance, what common operational gaps slow digital transformation?
So these three verticals that you've said, they sound familiar, but they are so different when it comes to operations and when it comes to people. Talk to a telco guy with a banker, or talk to an insurance guy with a banker and voice. I've dealt with all of them. I had the opportunity to experience. And now here's the thing. What I've observed, again, this is purely coming from a wider perspective, not from a country level, if I may say. And quite a lot of people will resonate to that as well, hopefully. People, unfortunately, again, businesses are implementing policies, frameworks, and everything is happening on the regulatory level, business level, organization. It gels down to humans. It comes down to people, right? And if I put it from, let's take a roadmap over here. So regulator, telecoms regulated, banks regulated, insurance regulated. In most of the countries, it is like this. And I've heard quite often that regulators are too slow. We don't get that right approach. We don't get the timely feedback. Okay, what if they give you the timely feedback? I've seen regulators have actually launched the frameworks. They've unko zang lag raha hai, unfortunately, but people are still not able to utilize it, literally, right? So the problem is not governments. Governments, they connect with governments, so they are more concerned about growth in the economy. But we are so We're so used to blaming governments in not letting us do what actually they are actually giving you the opportunity to do. You are not finding the right routes and the roads to do it. One of the challenge I would like to highlight when it comes to governance, right? कि वो जो हमने एक point raise किया था ना, where corporates want to just try to make cash first and value second. That's where the governance also comes in, because whenever they will hit a roadblock in their penetration journey or in their go-to-market strategy, if they're expanding, rather than exploring that roadblock from a compliance point of view, they'll find workarounds to just start the operation. Did you get what I mean? So let's say we have a licensing situation, or we have a compliance situation with the bank registration, right? As a vendor, and the bank says, okay, you've got this, but there is you're doing let's say a payment related activity, therefore you need to have certain license, right? Now the important point is it's not a new tech, so the tech is mature, nice, good, expanding, going to different countries, beautiful. So it means that there is a database, there are user bases, so there is all that needs to be there, and the bank is happy to get them on board, but with one challenge. So they need to fix that challenge, right, in order to stay compliant. Guess what I've seen so often? They won't look into that challenge just because it's a government related challenge. No, it's government is not a problem here. Regulators are welcoming, corporates and businesses to come and tell us the problem, the challenges. We'll tell you, we'll fix it with you. It's not the other way around. Gone are the days. Remember what we said in the past. So the transformation and digitalization and everything that used to happen in the past, gone are the days. It doesn't happen. The same applies to the regulators. Yeah, they're a bit slow. Economies do grow slightly slowly. One is to one compare one to other. Take in the GCC, Dubai has been forefronting it, correct? Dubai has been expanding it in terms of digitalization technology. Look at Saudi now. KSA is completely as a hot bubble at the moment when it comes to tech startups and all that. So it means that regulators have done their part. Then only the businesses can run, right? And businesses, when you go there, they're like, nah, they're going to take time. I'm going to lose money. There's another way I can do it. But look at the long run. You might be able to do it now. But now you're hitting a speed breaker, then you will hit a roadblocker, a complete barrier. You won't be able to recover from there. Then what? And I've seen it more often in a
Very
lot of
nice.
cases. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, tell us about a major transformation you led that significantly improved national or large scale impact.
I have many stories I can bring. I'll try to think of something that is more recent, let's say. Attempts has been there. There's been quite a lot of attempts actually, and I'm still making those attempts, because once we understand the startup and the entrepreneur journey, right, we can't not do what we do. Unfortunately, we can't sell normal. Let's put it this way: we have to find the competitive edge, right? We have to find that silver lining which makes us different than the others. That's number one, correct? Now, the last question you asked about the challenges that we faced, and I'll respond. I'll add to this one as well. And that's my approach. That's one of my frameworks that I apply on when I come to the national scaling experience that I built. When I go with a new approach or a finding or something that I feel it's a market need, right? My first validation is the rejection. Did you get what I mean? So so I know I've done my study, I've done my research, I've done my approach. When I go and talk to one of my friend here and there, nah, it's not gonna happen. Good, okay, that's a test I'm doing. But I'm trying to, these are close circles, right? So I'm trying to be not aggressive in a way that they're not gonna understand, but giving them that insights which rest of the people don't know at the moment, for example, right? So I do that. Then I go outside in the market to test that again. Now that test for what how is it a success? If the market rejects it, if my client, the first approach client, rejects the idea that has been put, good. You're good. That shouldn't be your failure. Because had they accepted, they would have been doing it. Right? So your first rejection is your validation. And from there, you need to make sure that you are agile enough and ahead of the rest of the team or the economy or the market even, where you have the right room of pivoting. You will never have 100% product startup. Never. We just talked about WhatsApp. They were never ready for that scale of business. ChatGPT was never ready, right? With the amount of consumers they got into. So you need to pivot. You need to be agile enough to, and this is another challenge that we face in the startup community or the startup companies. What happens is, because the founder is visionary, right? And the rest of the team is an executionist. So there is this vision to execution challenge, because visionaries are not understood by operations people, unfortunately. They cannot. And they cannot go to if you ask them to go to that level, you are killing them, because they can't vision again. Right? What I mean? So we need to make sure,
Absolutely.
we need to make sure that that filtering happens. So there has to be that niche over there in order to make sure that the vision to execution actually happens. And they get the right team. You know the concept of A players can hire B players, but B players can never hire A players. They will always hire C players. They won't even hire B players. A will hire A, yes, but A might be able to work with B, right? B don't like B's, and they always hire the C's. Does it
Very
does it make
right.
sense? Right? And and and,
Your
and there is
point
a
is
big
very
reason.
valid. Yes.
There's a big reason of that, and one of the biggest reason is, so give me this. Let me ask a backfire question to you. So between the A, the B, the C, which one you think is a problem? Which
I
layer
think
is the
B.
problem? They are the biggest problem, unfortunately. You're right. Because now, just for the audience and just for the rest of them, so A players, they are challengers, they are risk takers, they like to be challenged and put pressured. That's how they thrive. They go out of the box, they go out and above, they are never idle. People will call them crazy. Yes, that's their validation, right? The B's will always call them crazies. Now, what is the B player? B player is showing that he is A, but he is not, and taking the credit of the C. Right? I think many will resonate to that. I hope so. And if it reflects to few of them, that should help the C and the A, because A needs support and B pretends to show support. It doesn't. Right? And that's one of the
Right.
challenges I've observed in the organizations. I've worked in multinational, I've worked in dual Fortune 500 companies. And Earlier in the days, my thoughts used to be that business or the company is not doing right, or they're not hiring the right candidates or the right mindsets. The problem is, in a
Absolutely.
region you've got the same capability, or the caliber is like this, so companies actually forced to use what they have in the market, right? And then coach them, train them,
Right.
guide them, empower them, bring those right tools, bring those right practices. uh, and I learned this in my letter that I took in Huawei. So when I joined Huawei, I joined as a buyer back in 2012, right? And when I exited Huawei, I was the country procurement director of Bahrain, right? It was 8 years journey, and I climbed that ladder, and I've seen the layers. Literally, when I went to that top layer, wow, it was wow. So that was the A layer, but that was not coming down. It was getting stuck in the execution and operations. You know what I mean? And I'm sure corporates like businesses, telcos, operators. Let's focus on the specific region, which is Gulf region. I've lived and worked in 5 out of 6 GCC countries. Saudi is yet to be, but in fact, next week I'm in Saudi for a workshop. But yeah, and I've worked on major telecom rollouts. My background, my profession has been sourcing in telecommunications. That's my core forte, basically. You name it. Do project in UAE, QTEL in Qatar, which is now Ooredoo, um, Bahrain. I've worked in major telecom projects, O&M, managed services, or rollouts. Kuwait was my hometown. I'm born and raised in Kuwait, so yeah, in Kuwait as well we had. And I'm coming from an international corporate background. Just imagine what would be still missing in the local businesses when we are seeing that challenges in international companies. You know what I mean? And then just drill it down
Definitely.
to SMEs and family businesses in the GCCs. Just drill it down.
Right.
It's
Hmm.
it's it's really huge. It's the I would say that the need of the right mindset to be present in the region for the people, for the businesses is a must, but the right mindsets, right? The mindsets that wants to add value, not the mindsets that want to rip off people and burn the cash. That's been there.
Very right.
And yeah,
Very
you need
right.
to have that
Hmm.
right mindset. You be in the
Hmm.
market, you see how much an economy, we complain economy is not growing. How will the economy grow if the businesses are not thriving? And how the businesses will thrive if the right people and the mindsets are not there? It's a cycle,
Absolutely.
right?
Hmm.
So
Okay. So, Zishan, how can enterprises balance innovation with operational resilience, especially in regulated sectors?
I think we captured it in the explanation that I did on telco. We talked about telco and all. Um, so how can enterprises balance innovation with operational resilience? Stay governed, stay focused, follow the regulatory compliances, understand the frameworks. Everything is ready. You don't need to reinvent anything. We try to come up with workarounds to government will not get to know, this is a workaround, we can do it. Why? If this is a workaround, follow the regulator. If this is something that actually adds value, go to the regulator and advise and suggest. You are the doctors, not the regulators. Regulators will follow what the business and experienced experts and tech people will go and guide and train them and give them the right information, because we are the field people, right? We test the market. How do they know the right things and the wrong things? They just follow either Two reasons, and I've seen it. So I can actually give an example also within the banking sector, right? Where banks are going into fintech, right? So banking is moving towards fintech, where the digital banking is coming up. Correct. Now, in the GCC, you've got good expansion happening in the digital era in the banking sector. But if you look at the regulatory processes or programs that they have developed, UAE, Saudi, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, for example, and just pull out, and they are readily available in the online. Anybody can have an access to it. Just get their digital banking or digital fintech frameworks out. Download those
Very right.
frameworks, right?
Hmm.
Download those frameworks. Use one of the AI tools. I'll recommend one. Just stop thinking about anything. Everybody has Gmail. You have a tool called Notebook LM. Just go and add those resources there, right? And question it. Identify the differences or the approaches used by different countries, right? That's the simplest way
Right.
people can actually access the regulatory rules. Simplest way. And with the help of AI,
Hmm.
it makes it so easy, Zubia, now that people can, when I used to read contracts, I used to build contracts, and because of procurement, commercial vendors, and all that, legal and everything used to be there. And we used to do manually. We used to make strategies, project procurement strategies, and all that stuff manually, right? You've got AI now, and every corporate has their own Copilot or G Suite or Gemini being embedded. Just the effort due. Take the regulatory frameworks and understand before you enter the market. If we can't do this, then what are we doing when we are saying we are doing startups? I've seen it so many times that people
Very right.
try to find ways around. So this would be, I would say, you wanna go with the innovation approach and regulated sectors, follow the regulations. Period.
Okay. Okay. So, what frameworks and methodologies do you rely on when building AI-enabled operating models?
Because I could not find a right fit or the right approach. Hence, I had to do a lot of Q&A. I did a lot of digging. I even spoke to Zach Cass. He is the former head of go-to-market strategy of OpenAI. He's the one who launched ChatGPT in the market, right? And I questioned quite a lot of other inspirational speakers as well, which landed making my own pyramid framework. So that was the birth of pyramid framework, because I wanted to get the right approaches in order to find what are the right frameworks, if any. Even by Big Fours, I met Deloitte, I met PwC friends over there. I talked in, you name it, right? In order to make sure that you've done your check and balance. I spoke to CEOs, I spoke to SMEs, SMBs, and in international corporate professionals as well. I mean, living and working in 6-7 countries throughout 20 plus years, alhamdulillah, I managed to build that network around me, and that gave me some chance of just picking up the phone. Okay, guys, what are you doing with AI? Have you tested it? Have you not tested it? What challenges did you face? And blah 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 blah. And then when I got the answers, now I need to validate it, and I need to go and find by who will give me the right AI approach, right? Because again, if anybody comes and tells you that he has 10 years of experience in AI, he's the biggest liar. I'm sorry to say. AI actually started 3-4 years ago. उससे पहले तो हम सारे भी जितना भी यूज कर रहे थे वो हो रहा था, because AI in itself is not new. It started back in 1950. Can you imagine that? It was before
Absolutely.
humans landed on the moon. That is the time of AI inception. That's when AI actually started. So it's not new, but it came to consumers' hand recently. We just got it now. So let's say post COVID was a disruption. Now AI is a disruption, right? And in the last 3 4 years, so it's not that everybody has that right knowledge and experience, so you need to find that right people in order to get the right answers. And I happen to be a member of a Augment Business School, which is one of the best, I would say. If anybody who wants to actually know AI, please go and do your MBA from there. It's not accredited. I wouldn't say that it's an Ivy related or even accredited related. It's a startup. Yes, it's a startup, but their concept is different. Their instructors are different. Their instructors are people, those who have actually gone the journey. You're talking about people, those who built Wikipedia, the founder. He's one of the lecturer. The guy who built Waze, the GPS app, right? He is one of the lecturers. Zach Cass himself, who actually worked in OpenAI and now and launched OpenAI, is one of the AI in business and operations lecturer. And that was my catchy part, that okay, I want to know from them, so I'm going to do this MBA, right? And that got me an opportunity to have one-on-one discussions with those executives, where I landed my questions very straightforward. And I said, if this is not there, what's the approach? How do we help businesses and operations? You made it, you launched it. Tell me, I'm struggling. Like you just mentioned, what you just said, there are challenges. So how are you doing it in your side, so we can implement it on our side? Which then gave a birth to the AI pyramid framework. And why do I call it a pyramid framework? I think we highlighted earlier in the start of the discussion. CEO, the leader. That's why it's a pyramid framework. We start with the CEO. So it's a 5 weeks program. It's structured with 5 weeks program, and we go in with the right-minded executives, 2 to 3 people, including myself, and we have structured activities that needs to be done in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. We give a report, which actually is the deliverable that comes out of it, showing you the readiness of how much your people understand AI, encyclopedia AI, not using ChatGPT and saying they are 3 out of 5 and that means you are an AI expert, right? So using the right, so we give a competency analysis on that. The beauty that we do in this 5 weeks is we make the leader, the CEO, the AI champion. So as part of our program, we are partnered with AI Certs. AI Certs is a global institute, and they have built courses for role-based functions. What do I mean by that? AI plus executive, AI plus project management, AI plus finance, AI plus procurement, AI for HR,
Great. That's
right?
that's really amazing. Great.
So people need to go into that. Now, what will happen if somebody does not? Now, having that, then why do we need the pyramid framework? We still do. Why? Because that's again a journey. You cannot let. So what's going to happen? Probably it's already happening, or it's going to happen sooner or later, where when corporates or businesses will know about these courses coming in the market online, everybody will start seeing it on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and all that. And HR is going to get a message from the CEO. Wait, let's try to get contacted with them and start enrolling. Let's say start with procurement, let's say, or finance, because they're number, right? People actually think AI works only on factored departments. No, AI works also on people, human-driven departments. It guides you in procurement. So I've built an AI coach of crisis to clarity. There's a published coach, which is all built on my framework, and it actually helps procurement people to navigate the firefighting that they go through daily, right? So if they go that
Great.
governance model, they'll have a little bit of a help. If they use more, they'll have a lot of help. But people
Okay.
say that I like ChatGPT, so I'm going to go there and I'm going to keep doing that. So these are some of the ways. Frameworks, see what works for you. I'm not saying that the 5 week frameworks is the only framework, right? Why did I come up with that? Is because I didn't find anything in the market that actually gives the right set of tools and exposure. SME, not everybody can work with big fours. Corporates, I mean, economy doesn't run with the bigger companies, right? Economy runs with SMEs and SMBs. So who's going to help them if you're going to keep focusing on the big fours and the giants and the sharks in the countries, I would say. So we need to focus
Very
there.
right. Very right. So, finally, what does the next decade of national level digital transformation look like to the GCC region?
Keep an eye on Saudi. They're the trendsetters right now. Of course, UAE is more structured when it comes to their internal governance, what they have, and they're more, but they're steady now. Saudi is somewhere we can actually try to make the right solutions. The country is big, opportunities are there, they're hungry, right? So whoever is having an idea, a concept, a thought, I'd say Saudi is the place for your test bed. They'll welcome you, they'll do that. And that will then cast the journey of GCC digital transformation. Because if you observe it from a holistic view, right, it's UAE and KSA leading the race here at the moment in the GCC. I was in Kuwait 2 weeks ago. A lot of work needs to be done over there. Oman is in the forefront. Yes, they're doing a lot of movements. They have been. I've been here since last 4 5 years now, and I've seen the journey. And when I got into Oman, and actually I picked Oman because I wanted to. I had 4 countries already bagged, so Oman was the next one. Then I said, okay, let's go Oman before I go to Saudi. So I came to Oman like that. And when I landed, I can give you an example. So everybody started like, why did you come to Oman, man? It's so dull. It's like this. It's like that. Trust me, I love it because of the scenery, the way the Oman is geographically presented, right? It's unlike any other GCC when it comes to the way the look and feel. Completely different, right? So people were like, they're slow, man. They don't. What are you gonna? I said, I'm a digital transformer. I mean, I'm in digital businesses, and I like to explore. Man, these guys, they will not do anything. That was music to me. That was literally music to me. And I'm sharing this story because people tend to follow trends. Try one time, don't follow trend, and see the change. Just focus on your core and belief. If you're doing
Very true.
something right, you're doing something right. You're strong in that. With the clean intent, it's going to add value. Yes, it's going to take time. People not going to get what you're saying, but don't lose your hope. There is a lot of opportunity in the market. People, and I have seen a lot of technologies in outside GCC. Last month I was in Pakistan, and I met quite a lot of people in Pakistan, startups and networks and all that. They're hungry to come outside, yes, but come in the right footing, with the right mindset, with the right approach. Don't money will come if value is given. Add the value. Money is a byproduct. Once the value is felt, the byproduct follows. People focus the money and they try to just miss the value part here. That's
Very
how
right.
I would.
Very right. Okay, so Mr. Zishan, in the end, thank you very much for sparing time for this wonderful discussion, and I hope our viewers will learn a lot from it. On behalf of the CXO Global Forum and NICAT, we wish you more and more success in your life. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Zubia. Thank you, Zubia, and thank you to the audience, and thank you to the rest of the world. Stay safe, stay blessed, keep using AI the right way. Don't try to run away from it. If you run away from it, then you will stay behind, unfortunately. Good luck.
Very right,
Salam
very right. So, viewers, this is it for today. Inshallah, see you soon with some another amazing personality. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.